I'm a banker and a section manager. Every day, I count cash as part of my job. If there's even a penny off, it's a big deal. After joining the company as a new graduate, that is the only thing that has remained the same, even though he became a section chief and received a salary increase. "Hey, what's wrong with you?" my boss, named Bob, yells at a newbie. "You're wasting everyone's time." His yelling echoes throughout the office, making my colleagues shiver. As a manager, I couldn't say anything and just had to silently watch. Hearing yelling is an everyday occurrence. But I wonder if this is really okay. Counting money, listening to yelling. The thought of becoming the one who yells dampens my desire for promotion. It's probably not his fault. There must be a problem with the work environment here that requires yelling. Other banks must not be like this. Bob has always been good to me. Outside of work, he treats his subordinates to meals, listens to their problems, showing a warm human side. The company environment that can change a person's character to this extent is truly frightening. I want to run away. Lately, I've been thinking about it more. But I can't do that. Switching to a company that pays the same salary is difficult, and I don't have the confidence. I worked hard, graduated from a prestigious university, and finally got this job. Quitting would be betraying my parents who paid me college tuition. So, I just get through each day. Coming home exhausted every day, mentally drained, unable to reply to messages from my girlfriend, Emily, munching on fried chicken I bought from the convenience store. I fall asleep on my bed, forgetting to turn off the TV. And then, I close my eyes and zone out. Suddenly, the TV catches my attention. Country living is becoming popular, and in our next segment, we'll meet a man who moved to the countryside and renovated his home from scratch using DIY techniques. I listen to the TV host's words. "Wow, what a lovely home. What's this?" "This is a wood-burning stove. I cut the wood from the woods and put it in here." Moving to the countryside, huh? Hearing that much, I opened my eyes and turned my face towards the TV. The man featured in the program was of my generation. He had renovated an old country house by himself and was living in it. Wow, that's amazing. Watching him, my heart leaped with excitement. When was the last time I felt this thrilled? I want to try it. That's what I thought. But no, calm down. It's impossible for me. I can't give up my current position. Besides, the faces of my parents kept floating in my mind and wouldn't leave. Living surrounded by nature in the countryside, it's like a dream. But after all, it's just a dream. Because it will never come true, because it is a dream, I can imagine it and enjoy it. That's reality. I slowly close my eyes and fall asleep. Then, one day, while living these days, my grandpa, he passed away in his sleep, my father says with a trembling voice over the phone. Really, but he had a good long life, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I was on my way to my grandfather's rural home to say goodbye. This place is also where my father was born, and I often visited here as a child. Traveling through a road between mountains, the clear air circulates through my body. Nature really does feel good. I hurry to my grandpa's house while enjoying the scent of the trees. Huh, what's this? When I arrived, the front door was in shambles, different from my childhood, with holes in it. It wasn't just the door that was worn out. The recent typhoon damaged it. Said my grandma in the living room. She's 85 but still lively, though much older than before. With Grandpa gone, living alone in this house is going to be lonely, she muttered weakly. Hearing this, my mother continued. Yes, it's tough here without a car for shopping, and just living can be difficult. Well, I have no one to rely on anymore. she said with a trembling voice, looking at Grandpa's peaceful face. Seeing all this made my heart heavy. Grandma looked at me and said, I'd be happy if you, Kay, could take care of this house. Me. I was surprised to be mentioned. Dad also spoke to me. Well, why not? Grandpa loved you, Kay. He'd be happy. Hold on. But Dad, don't you think it's better for me to continue as a banker? But Dad shook his head. You look so distressed now. Maybe banking isn't right for you. I was surprised he saw right through me. You're misunderstanding something. I just want you to lead a happy life, not to work in misery. I'm not worried about the college tuition. It doesn't matter if your education isn't relevant. As long as you're happy, that's what counts. Mom, sitting beside him, nodded in agreement. Grandma added, Really, having you here would make life easier. That was the moment I decided. I'll move to this countryside. Thank you for everything over the years. I confided in Bob about quitting my job. What? Are you serious, Kay? Moving to such a rural area? What about your job? I've decided to work at a factory for agricultural machinery owned by my grandmother's acquaintance. I see, but leaving such a well-paying bank job, you must be out of your mind. Yes, well, I guess so. I gave her a smile at Bob's face. But those words didn't affect me anymore. After resigning, I moved immediately. Having Kay with us is truly reassuring. Oh, there's Mary from across the street walking this way. We should greet her. Grandma was delighted, proudly telling the few neighbors about me. Oh my, such a wonderful grandson has come. How envious. Nice to meet you. I'll do whatever I can, so please feel free to ask for help anytime. Oh, how reliable. Thank you, likewise. The neighbors welcomed me warmly. Starting today, I'll be working here. My name is Kay. Applause broke out among the employees. Having a young person join is a great help. The company's average age is 60, with many pensioners. Their backgrounds vary. Some juggle farming, others are town council members, and there are former self-defense officers and teachers. The seniors patiently taught me the job, and their diverse life experiences made for enjoyable break-time conversations. Unlike before, this job requires manual dexterity, but even if I make a mistake, they reassure me, it's okay, don't worry. They praise good work, providing a sense of security. The salary is indeed lower, but I'm genuinely happy here. There are no convenience stores nearby, and the nearest supermarket is in the next town, but the warmth of the people here is a treasure. I felt more at peace than when I was working at the bank. Though it meant a long-distance relationship with Emily in New York, we managed to meet once a month at a midway point for a date. On days off, I did DIY around the house, making it more accessible for Grandma. We went shopping and to the doctor together. Kay, I'm so glad you came. Thank you. She always says thank you. I feel happy when I see Grandma smile. The hard times at the bank seemed like a distant memory. As a year was about to pass, Emily proposed to me, asking, "Will you marry me?" I was surprised, but she had always shown interest in countryside living and wanted to start our rural life together as soon as possible. I said yes, and we decided to have a wedding. We chose New York, our hometown, for the wedding. I thought about who to invite and decided to ask not only my current colleagues, but also Bob, my former boss from the bank, with whom I still kept in touch. The wedding went smoothly, and everyone invited attended. Young love is wonderful. Thank you for deciding to move here with him. Saying that, my colleagues from the agricultural machinery factory also celebrated with me. Most of them stayed for the after-party as well. Of course, my colleagues and my former boss, Bob, were there. Since we couldn't talk much at the wedding, I took the opportunity to talk to them. Bob, long time no see. Thank you for coming today. Bob, who had been drinking, had red eyes. It was a great wedding today. Thanks for inviting me. He seemed pretty drunk. Come to think of it, he was always bad with alcohol. But seriously, leaving a bank in New York to work at a small-town factory in Nebraska, that's unbelievable, and the salary must be so little, right? At those words, the people around us turned to look. Of course, my colleagues from the agricultural machinery factory were among them. Bob continued, smirking. What's so great about working in a small-town factory in Nebraska? I can imagine it's fun working with old-timers. You probably don't even make anything decent. That comment really got to me. I raised my voice and said, that's not true. We make great products. Take back what you said, right now. But Bob, drunk, replied condescendingly. You must be regretting it, right? Your salary is gone down. You shouldn't have changed jobs. I'm happy with my career change. Sure, my salary is less, but I'm much more at peace now than when I was a banker. A calm life is my happiness, and I'm living a richer life than before. Then, a voice called out from afar. Is that Bob? It was Thomas Smith, a colleague from the agricultural machinery factory. Recognizing Bob, I had received a message from Thomas that he would join the after-party, and it seemed he had just arrived. Wait, Mr. Smith, Bob exclaimed in surprise. Wow, it's been a while, since the reunion 2 years ago. Confused, I asked. What do you mean? Do you know each other? Then Thomas spoke up. Bob was a student of mine back when I was teaching in New York. We've known each other for many years now. I remembered that Thomas used to be a high school teacher. I was surprised to find out that Bob was Thomas's former student and thought how unexpected these connections can be. I've heard about it. You've been speaking quite poorly of our factory. Bob remained silent. But maybe your comments are due to stress. Bob, weren't you laid off from your company? I heard from your classmates at this year's reunion. Bob apologized, I'm sorry, and quickly left. I apologized to Thomas and my colleagues. I'm sorry my former boss said such things. Thomas replied, sorry about my former student's remarks. Unexpectedly, he apologized to me. But I was really happy to hear you say we make good products. We were actually worried if you were happy with your career change. Our factory is small. The employees are older. It's in the countryside with not much to do and hard to get around. But hearing you say you're at peace now, it's reassuring. Everyone nodded in agreement. Once the president retires in a few years, you're the only choice for the next president, so we're counting on you, Kay. Hearing everyone's feelings made me surprised and then happy. Yes, I will continue to create good products in the future. It was the beginning of living with my wife and grandma, just the three of us. Am I not in the way being here? Grandma would worry about such things. But my wife responded like this. This is Grandma's house. What would we do without you living here? Indeed, that's true. Besides, I'm a grandma's girl, so it's really comforting for me. Is that so? Saying that, the two of them smiled happily. When we had a child and my wife wanted to have a baby and my grandma became the godmother. Even now, past her 90s, Grandma is still energetic, cooking meals, making me believe we can live together for a long time. According to what Thomas told me, Bob moved to a remote countryside area and surprisingly got a job at a small town factory. Apparently, he had long admired a rural lifestyle like mine but had never acted on it. So, Thomas said, his envy of me probably led to those comments. So, 5 years after the wedding, since we were in the same industry, Thomas arranged for Bob to visit our factory. I'm sorry about back then, but now, I'm also working hard at a small town factory, trying to make good products. I'd be happy if we could cooperate in the same industry. After bowing to me, he extended his hand, which I firmly grasped, Thomas and the seniors applauded, celebrating our reconciliation. The countryside is the best place for us.